Okay guys, welcome back. So far, so good. I'll just move my water down slightly as that's one of the things I wanted to do. There we go. And now I'm going to save my scene, but I'm going to save my scene as the intro scene. Now, what I want is I'm going to save the scene as, and I'm going to save it as the intro scene. But what we're going to do is take the assets back out of the image target and replace the AR camera for a normal camera. So let's just quickly do that now. Now make sure you've saved the scene as intro, by the way, so we're not editing the original. Then select all three items and drag them outside of the image target. Delete the image target, and then I want you to right click and add a new camera and make sure you tag it as the main camera. Okay, now, while the camera is selected, you have the camera preview. So all you need to do is kind of position the camera to look at the scene from the perspective that you want it to. So I'm going to bring mine right back and over here, and then I'm going to lower the camera down and rotate to the right with the camera on the y-axis. There we go. To look across the scene, because I want both the castle and the mountain to be in the shot on mine. A little bit lower. And then away from the cliff edge. Rotate slightly more. Tiny bit lower. Back away from the cliff edge. And rotate some more. There we go. Okay, now we have a slight issue. Watch what happens when I go to the game view. It looks great. The smoke's going to rise up, the bird's going to fly around, and we've got plenty of screen real estate to put some kind of menu and title here for the game. But there's a problem with the new integration of Vuforia. Watch what happens. Even though this isn't an AR camera, if I press play, we're still back in an AR environment. And if you look on the left-hand side, new game objects have been created, and we also have this texture buffer camera, which we don't want. Now, this is down to the build settings and the player settings here having Vuforia enabled. Now, we need that obviously to work, but the guys at Vuforia have had this flagged to them because although on something like the Microsoft HoloLens or Google Cardboard or an Oculus Rift or whatever else they're using for VR, then of course it would need to be in augmented reality all the time. But they've kind of forgotten about the app side in this new version, so they're quickly putting together a bit of a fix to work around this. Now, all I want is to have a normal camera in the intro scene, and then when we move through from the intro scene to the main scene, then Vuforia be enabled. Now, have no fear. After a lot of digging around, I found the solution. So on the scene, we have the normal camera, and I've tagged it as the main camera, so Unity knows that's the camera. You press play, Vuforia takes over with the AR new commands and the XR settings in the build settings. So a quick fix though, notice on the right hand side, transform camera, flare and audio. I press play, and all of a sudden, we also have a Vuforia behavior script and a bunch of background things. So why don't we add that ourselves as a Vuforia behavior script and then disable it? That means when the game runs, Vuforia doesn't add the script as it's already attached to my camera, thinking it's one of the AR objects from the game object menu, and then I can disable that behavior. Therefore, I press play, and we have a standard camera. Perfect for an intro scene. So I'm going to get the title to appear here and a play game button. We've got the volcano going, the ducks flying around, everything's perfect. So something so small causing so many problems for so many people. So just add the Vuforia behavior script, making sure you're on the intro scene, to the main camera, and then disable it. Save the scene, and then drag the scene into the scenes folder, and then go back into the scenes folder and switch back to the main, and make sure up at the top it says main. Otherwise, we're still going to be editing the wrong scene. So brilliant, we've used this as a base template now. So we have a nice little 3D world as a background splash screen for when the app first loads. All we need to do later on is add a graphic user interface over the top, maybe a couple of sound effects, and away we go.